San Gabriel Valley, formerly known as Fight San Gabriel Valley. Our mission is to create a more sustainable, equitable, and livable San Gabriel Valley. I want to start by thanking Supervisor Hilda Solis and the Board of Supervisors for their motion opposing Quemeco's expansion and permit renewal until current contamination is cleaned up. I personally worked on various community engagement efforts in the West Puente Valley area, from the Puente Hills Landfill Park Master Plan to Valley County Parks Assessment, developing an advanced energy community, to our most recent effort where we're working with UCLA to monitor indoor and outdoor air quality within zip codes 91746 and 91732, 91746 being the same zip code that Quemeco is currently located. With all the outreach and engagement we conduct, one of the top concerns we hear most about in the area is the Quemeco facility. In the U.S., nearly 134 million people, over 40% of the population, are at risk of disease and premature death because of air pollution. I'm running out of time, but right now we're currently in the middle of deployment, and what we hear repeatedly is from parents in zip code 91746 is the concerns that they are reluctant to allow their children to go outside because the air is harmful. And then knowing that indoor air quality is 2 to 5 times worse, we really need urgent solutions to this now. So thank you for your time today. I hope and urge you to pass this motion against allowing their expansion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, supervisors. My name is Marilyn Kamimura, a longtime resident of Avocado Heights and member of the Clean Air Coalition of North Whittier and Avocado Heights. Clean Air Coalition has worked diligently for 5 years to stop the expansion of Quemeco. As a community member, a parent, and grandmother, my role is to protect those who are harmed and will be harmed. My story is personal. I take care of grandchildren 3 and 5 on property that tested high in lead by the USC Medical School of Keck and must take precautions to protect them from harm. We live approximately 2 miles from Quemeco. I thank Supervisor Solis and Supervisor Hahn for this motion. You do not realize how much this support means to our community, and urge the Board of Supervisors to pass this motion. By passing this motion, you move forward in protecting the health and welfare of your constituents by recognizing that Quemeco must be held accountable. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Marilyn Kamimura, CAC member.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Madam Chair, honorable members of the board, my name is Don C. Moss. I address the board in favor of this motion as an independent community advocate from Avocado Heights. The supervisor recently commented that agencies are not able to regulate themselves. I believe this issue clearly reflects that fact. I would like the board to consider copying the State Water Board on that letter also. I moved to Avocado Heights in the late 80s. I immediately experienced burning eyes and nose. Later I developed chronic allergic rhinitis and a chronic dry cough. Within a year of moving into the area, I developed keratoses on my hands and feet, which dermatologists attribute to high levels of environmental arsenic.
Ooh.
Shortly after moving in, I became aware of Quemeco and its hazardous discharges. I immediately became active in the surrounding community's movement to clean up Quemeco. Quemeco's published documentation of the plant's discharge plume identified my property as ground zero for maximum fallout from that discharge.
Wow.
The legal as well as moral obligation to declare the effects of Quemeco rendered my property unsaleable. To date, the only substantial cleanup of Quemeco required by the regulatory agencies has occurred after community advocates identified occurrences which they failed. Thank you for your consideration of this issue.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Lucy, are you next? Welcome.
Wow.
I've been a resident of Hacienda Heights for about 40 years. My family resides 3/4 of a mile from Quemeco, a recycling facility that smells battery parts. While doing this process, minute pieces of lead, arsenic, and benzene escape up through the filter, then release contaminating the air that we breathe. Driving by the facility was unavoidable for me. It was my route to work every day and for many years to visit families in the San Gabriel Valley. After 10 years of residence in Hacienda Heights, I learned about the dangers of Cameco. I discovered lead is exposed to the air, water, and soil. And these pollutants of concern affecting not only adults but also our children. Children living near lead can develop brain damage, decrease their IQ, their growth stunted, and have their behavior affected. As an adult, that same child may also experience headaches, memory loss, high blood pressure, kidney disease, and joint pain. But what about arsenic? Exposure to arsenic is found in the air we breathe, pesticides in poultry, vegetables, and juice products. And most of all, it's found at industrial areas, such as Cameco, that emits toxic fumes in the air. The fumes are blown by the wind and settle in the neighboring communities. Adults are affected by arsenic, thus developing cardiovascular problems, lung disease, bladder, and so on. Women are affected during pregnancy. As children mature, they test with indication of lower IQ scores.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what, let me just tell everybody, if you run out of time, feel free to submit your written comment to us and we'll read them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Yes, my name is Duncan McKee. My family's lived in Avocado Heights since 1947. I went to school with children that lived up near the Cameco facility. We appear to have elevated levels of numerous health issues, including cancers, learning disabilities, things of that nature. Although causation is hard to prove, it's well documented that toxic substances emitted by Cameco do cause some of these type of things. I want to back up and thank Supervisor Solis and Supervisor Hahn and the rest of the board for bringing this motion before the board, and urge the board to pass it. Our community should not have to bear the burden of recycling batteries from all points west of the Mississippi River, including the importation of hazardous waste being processed at this facility from all over the world. A lot of the soil testing has already been done, and we need to take a look at that. I have numerous petitions that support this motion. There's 300-400 signatures that support all aspects of this motion. So I urge the board to pass it, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If you'd like to turn in that petitions, we'll look at that. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Supervisor Hahn and Supervisor Solis, I want to thank you very much for initiating this important issue. My name is Scott Martin, 19-year resident of Hacienda Heights, currently the president of the Hacienda Heights Improvement Association. We ask the Board of Supervisors united to strongly oppose a permit from the SCAQMD to allow a 25% increase in throughput by Cameco. We should not have members of our unincorporated community living within 600 feet of this facility. Schools and parks are nearby. Since 1959, emissions from this plant have polluted the air and soils of our area locally and downwind of its location. This can result in chronic daily exposure to cancer-causing and/or health-damaging lead, arsenic, and antimony. You already mentioned, and you must have got a copy of my notes. You did a great job with a lot of the statistics. Thank you, Supervisor Solis. Since 2017, these notices of violation, a statewide lawsuit, we just urge that you strongly oppose, as a body, any expansion of Cameco's operations and stop the continued abuse to our health, environment, and communities. A large concern of mine is they must be monitored. I do not want to see batteries landing in our riverbeds and in mining pits in the desert like days gone by when we used to bury our used oil in our backyards. Not that I would do that, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, supervisors. Rita Solis, Mark Thomas, Sheila Hill, Janice Khan, Catherine Berger. Today I'm here to talk about Cameco. I'm here not only representing my community of Hacienda Heights, but also our neighbors in Avocado Heights, Whittier, and La Puente. My family has lived in Hacienda Heights for over 30 years. I have a sister that lives close to Kemetco and two of us that live close to the mall, which is east of Kemetco. We were not aware of all the chemicals that are used by Kemetco. It was not until my nephew, Joshua Saldana, who died of thymoma cancer at age 35. Thymoma is a rare type of cancer. It's only 3% of the cancers. Last year, my sister, his mother, Beatriz Riccardi, was diagnosed with breast cancer. Keep in mind that no one in my family had a history of cancer. My sister is currently battling this disease. My sister's neighbor also died of cancer. Their pets died of cancer. We, the sisters that live close to the mall, have not been diagnosed with cancer as of yet. This company, Kemetco, has never notified any of us about the possible dangers our community faces when our air, soil, water is polluted with these chemicals. Now they're asking for an increase in their production. Have they not harmed our community enough? All the violations, the government agencies, what should have been protected? I urgently ask that you ask all governments.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. We appreciate it a lot. Madam Executive Officer, do you need to call up?
Yes, would following individuals please come forward when I call your name? Andre Gordon, Brian Johnson, George Versetti, Jennifer Kelly, Rebecca Velasquez, Thomas Loff, and William Chang. Please come forward and staff will assist you.
Go ahead.
My name is Andrea Gordon. I'm a resident of the 4th District, Hacienda Heights. I live in Terminal Canyon. I'm here representing both residents interested in stopping what's going on at Kemetco, but also as a member of the Whittier Hills Oil Watch, including for the warrant and then with your offices many times over the years to stop the city of Whittier seeking to institute oil drilling and gas drilling in the wildlife reserve where I live. Kemetco has been without a Department of Toxic Substances Control permit since 2015.
Really?
That's when their permit to operate expired, and because they filed for an extension prior to the expiration date, they've been allowed to operate by the state of California without a permit since 2015. I would like to see that law changed. Your body here is very well known throughout the state for the good work that you do in identifying the need for changes in legislation and working forward in that direction to make it happen. I'm hoping that will be the case today. Additionally, they have a long history of violations. I don't think someone should get a permit renewal automatically or be able to operate without a permit when they've had violations. And when there are egregious violations, there should be no renewal at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. My name is Chris Sanchez. I have been a resident of the Hacienda Heights area for 48 years. And I live within the 1.6-mile radius of Kemetco. I've also been honored twice by this board for outstanding volunteer work in the community. Many people will come to me for help in their different problems. My concern is the legacy we leave our community if we allow further development of Kemetco and their disregard for environmental health, recognized several times over the years by various legal actions, and have been a travesty not only to the residents, but the thousands of business employees who also work in the area. The residents who live or travel the 60 freeway are also at risk, especially at the off-ramps. The hundreds of trucks delivering their loads of batteries 24/7 from not only the United States, but other countries as well. This is why I am supporting the signing of this 5-signature letter to further investigate Kemetco's operations before being permitted. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. Next speaker, please.
It's legal. They're breaking all of it. Go read Bagley King. I gave the law in 2012.
And I've been living in Hacienda Heights most of my life.
So
I
now
was
it's
actually
gonna be trickle
diagnosed
injunction
with a
on it.
brain tumor 3 years ago,
Let's see what they do
and
against those
I did
guys,
have
huh?
surgery to have it removed. There's no known cause, but there is question of why that happened.
I am here because I'm gravely concerned about Quemetco, about the violations, and I just urge that the board pass this motion, and I appreciate your time and your attention to this matter.
Thank you so much. Next speaker, please.
My name is Brian Johnston. I'm a physician. I practice in Boyle Heights, and I've practiced there since 1975. The Department of Toxic Substances Control should not remove Quemetco's permit to operate or expand operations because DTSC has failed to demonstrate that it can regulate and respond effectively to violations of its regulations by Quemetco, Exide, or any other smeltering operations. In the past, when densely populated areas of Los Angeles have been heavily polluted, DTSC has been neither willing nor able to determine the full extent of pollution or effectively decontaminate the areas polluted. In the case of Quemetco, DTSC has been
Mr. President, you speaking on
look
this?
only 440 yards distant from the site of the plant. In the case of Exide, the federal agencies closed its operations in 2014, but DTSC has limited soil sampling to 1.7 miles from the source and has resisted years of public calls to expand the area of sampling. In the case of Exide, we know from the AQMD aerial sampling study in January 2010 that the plume of lead and arsenic emitted by Exide smelters extended from Rancho Palos Verdes to Altadena, a distance of 44 miles. The fact that DTSC refuses to look farther than 1.7 miles belies any claim DTSC might make about its intention or capacity to protect the public. As a neutral observer...
Thank you very much. If you'd like to turn in the rest of your testimony, we'll read it. But thank you for being here. Next speaker, please.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I appreciate Hilda Solis and you, Janice Allen, for sponsoring this motion.
Don't worry about it.
I'm Thomas Loaf.
Especially with you there.
I've lived in the community since 1960. I have a horse ranch there, and every time it rains, I have to go outside and clear gutters.
How about child
And
abuse
most
too,
people, when they go outside when it
run
rains,
child
they
abuse
go,
on.
"Oh, smell the beautiful clean."
I'm the guy who stopped
I've never
Belmont.
been able
Remember
to
that
do
one?
that. I go out there to clean my gutters, and I smell the pollution from Quemetco like crazy. It's all over the time. And I've asked, and at every public meeting, I have stated that when it rains or late at night, early in the morning, Quemetco goes crazy and nobody stops them. Please do something about that. You'd think with a place this big and this powerful, they would send somebody over there and make sure they were in compliance with their regulations. But for 30 years now, it just hasn't been happening. So I really condone this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I'm going to sit you on the end, so just give me a minute.
Quemetco has been a problem with many violations for over 50 years, 50. This is a residential area. The problem could be exploded into a bigger problem later. Not only we don't need to energize this problem by their extension, we want them to be relocated and start a correct start out of business. Thanks for the board's support.
Thank you. Next speaker. Do you have more members to call? Oh, no. Okay, next speaker.
Thank you,
Very good.
Supervisor Hahn, for this opportunity, this solution. Supervisor Solis, you know, we've been working, my name is Rebecca Velasquez, I'm the coordinator of Clean Air Coalition of North Whittier and Avocado Heights, and we've been working a long time with Supervisor Solis' staff, and I'm so pleased that this is happening, because as you can tell, this is a very bad company. I mean, there's no way around it. I'm not going to repeat everything everyone has said, but it has no business being in a residential community 600 feet from people's homes. I have 3 documents that I'm going to leave with you all. The first is titled Exhibit 1, and it's the air emissions data from AQMD's fence line monitors for 2017 and 2018, and you can see that every single day, this facility is emitting lead and arsenic by law. It's legally allowed to emit arsenic and lead into our community, and that's just wrong. So there's already a problem. It's basically a problem already. Expansion is going to make it way worse. I also have a letter dated October 25th from County Council, LA County Council, to the Air Quality Management District, firmly and strongly opposing the expansion. And finally, I have a copy of the Proposition 65 complaint for injunctive relief and civil penalties that Clean Air Coalition and the Center for Environmental Health have filed against Quemetco for violating Proposition 65. Thank you.
Wow.
For the next speaker, we have one more call-up.
Would the borough attorney please come forward, and then we will go to the full person's manifest.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Gina Hui. I'm representing Shilai Temple. And on behalf of the temple, we thank you for the supervisor caring and the concerning about this Hacienda Heights City. And one thing that we would like to say is that we hope the Hacienda Heights and the East San Gabriel Valley can be a beautiful, clean, and friendly places. And we all have the responsibility to protect the environment, and we really appreciate the county and the community members and caring about this issue, and then to make everything clean through legislation so that people in the community have a clean guidance to follow. And thank you so much for the caring, and we hope that we'll make it better for the community in East San Gabriel Valley, and we will vote for you, whatever your decision is.
Happy New Year. Thank you all my friends. Yes, George.
George Bazzetti, this is something that's very close to me, having been in stained glass since the 60s. I'm one of the top stained glass artists in the world. Angelo Bellomo there knows me very well. He knows I know toxics. We're the guys that shut down Belmont. I suggest you read Dr. Kate Kilborn's book, Chemical Brain Injury, to learn how evil this stuff is. Right, Angelo? Evil. One of my employees, man and wife, had some kids. Kids were never near my shop where lead was. They did some stained glass outside the house. Never in the house. Kids never near this stuff. They tested them. They almost took their kids away from them. We're talking child abuse here, people. Do you know what the child abuse law says here, people? I know married to wicked Wickham don't know a damn thing about law or care. But I do. And that's why I got an injunction on you all. Now, stop the lead.
Thank you. Can you go to Lancaster now, or? Well, Lancaster's been waiting. Lancaster, hello.
Hello. I've been doing the research on just that, and I probably sometime over I had to plan call. I have special needs, and it goes from the QMD, and especially if they're talking about Excite, then that is in Atlanta. And Ms. Kroll, no, it's not the same toxic substance. It's not even regulated here. And the monitoring program is like pretty weak. I mean, the AQM has here, and it's not the same toxic substance, because when the first mayor, he was an environmental weight, and it's an environment, and it's not the same toxin. So we still have to do it. And then and I think it says a medical information the algorithm automation for recollection of the data, and it's from human health. But the part, okay, but our people I do not want the induction of the public safety, because all of our people, we want the service and maintenance hours for our forest area, and the park in the library. It can be it's retrofitted for the restroom, but especially for the parks.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your testimony. Okay, back here. Herman.
So we all know about Excite. We know what that problem caused in the community. And even up to this day and time, it hasn't been resolved. So we have to question the so-called administration of legal counsel, Ms. Wicked Wickham, whether or not you're actually taking some attack on this motion with Hilda Solis, because it falls in her district. Why aren't you attacking Excite harder? to improve the quality of life in those neighborhoods in so-called CD14, in which Jose Huizar, who's under an FBI investigation, don't give a hell about the public anymore.
Remember, this is about Quemeco, so try to stay on the item.
We're dealing with chemicals, we're dealing with the air quality, and we're dealing with quality of life management. And it all falls again under a larger picture, just like what's in my hand. Something called a budget. And this budget affects all our lives. And if we're not here as Americans, then we're not here at all.
Thank you very much. Is that all speakers for this item? Okay, so colleagues, item 4 is before us. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. There you are, right there. Supervisor Solis.
Madam Chair, I just want to thank